Hi everybody, Chris this side, Mr. Gay South Africa, and this is Gavin Mikey Collins. We are sitting on the couch in Observatory in Cape Town, and this is the second installment of my hashtag UBU2 YouTube channel. And we're here today to talk about something pretty interesting to me and something that I'd love to know more about. So Gavin's going to give us the inside info and inside track on gender fluidity. So understanding what is gender fluidity and just having a chat, really, like just chatting about stuff and figuring it out. So how are you, Gavin?
I'm very good. Thank you.
Cool, well welcome to your couch. I'm glad that I could come. Tell me about what you perceive the concept of gender fluidity to be.
Wow, okay. So for me, gender fluidity, it's got to do with the spectrum. So gender binary traditionally is like male and female on two polar ends.
Yeah.
So one having like obviously traditional masculine traits and the other having like traditionally female traits, which is actually a construct that was created by society. But for me, gender fluidity is kind of, well, it's the concept of not subscribing to these traditional gender norms and not having to say either I'm a male or a female. You can be both. You can sometimes be more male, you can sometimes feel more female. It's about embracing all of those aspects of gender and identity.
Okay, so it's not just about clothing.
Well, I mean, that clothing is like an expression. It's how you express those masculine or feminine kind of traits.
Yes.
But so it's more of like how you identify. So, and
Okay.
it's different to your like gender, which you prescribe at birth as being male if you have a penis, or female if you have a vagina.
Yeah.
But it's how you identify on a personal level as like what makes you happy and what do you identify with? Like if growing up as a child, like you are a man or a boy, but you enjoy wearing dresses or like makeup. That's kind of, it's exploring traditionally feminine areas, but it's having the space to allow yourself to explore these different things without having to necessarily label it as male or female.
Okay, so Gavin does some pretty spectacular transformations on himself and assists other people to do that. He runs a fantastic party called Discoteca. I would say it's probably the most edgy and interesting social thing to be doing in Cape Town. That's not without any bias whatsoever. I find it to be something that really, really is fascinating. Not only from the spectacle of the people that really come out in the most amazing expressions in their fashion, but also the music and just the environment and the consciousness of the people there. So it seems to be a very different mindset of the people that are attracted to that. So I'm going to get Gavin to supply us with, and I'll put them in this video later, some of his transformations and his characters. So how do you pick your characters? I know that each discotheque is different, and how do you pick the character?
So for me, it's like drag specifically is a way of kind of processing all the kind of anxiety and shit that we have to deal with, for me. So it's like, it's ways of looking at things through a different lens. So whereas in the daytime, certain days maybe I'm more masculine, for me drag is a way of exploring that like feminine identity and like being completely free and open and just being able to explore different parts of myself that I wouldn't maybe normally feel comfortable with, or maybe it's not, I'm not liberated in that way. But with drag and this kind of idea of transformation, it allows you to explore different things. So like, for example, with Discoteca, we always have a different theme. And so for me, the kind of persona that I take on will relate to the theme. I've done things, for me, it's always about like the thoughts and ideas that you put into it. So even though it may just look like I'm dressed as a Playboy bunny, there's like kind of a deeper meaning to it, like why and how does it relate to things. But that's for me. It's not I don't have to like smack you over the head with it, but for me it allows a space to like question things and explore ideas and just like think about things in a different way.
Okay, so there's a spectrum which I'm gathering that there's a spectrum. There's definitely the drag side of this. That's an expression. It's almost almost like that peacocking that's going into a character and genuinely almost just releasing yourself into that character and using that as a form of almost therapy to just process anxieties and other spectrums. But then there's the more day-to-day version of what we're talking about here, and that is just being in a comfort zone with the fashion choices that you make and with the consciousness of being, maybe one day you feel more feminine, one day you feel more masculine, and you want to just express that.
Yeah, exactly. I think like people do get confused between what drag is and kind of non-binary identities. You know, drag is a persona and it's a performance. You don't live your life like day to day as a drag queen necessarily. Whereas like genderfluid people, you know, non-binary people who feel like they want to express themselves through makeup and through the way that they dress, it's a different expression. It's more about their identity as a person, you know. Yeah. It's not like putting on a mask. It's about expressing your identity through your fashion choices and your makeup. Yeah. Whereas drag for me is more of like a construct. It's an idea. You're saying I'm not necessarily being a different person. I'm heightening certain parts of myself in order to, you know, explore things or express myself. Whereas, you know, having like fashion choices, like maybe wearing dresses or, you know, having crazy hair or makeup, it's more of a personal identity. It's a more authentic way of expressing yourself, I suppose.
Okay, so if you go and look through my videos, you'll see that I challenged a makeup artist to transform me recently, just my face and keeping my beard, into a most glamorous woman, really, I'd say. And it was a fantastic experience, so much so that we decided on that day that we were going to take it a bit further and do a whole drag event that I come to in full drag. Yeah. So now that makes me a little bit nervous, but only in the sense that I, unlike what you're saying, if I were to go into drag, I'm most likely going to disappear into another character. Yeah. So there's probably going to be very little about my personality that comes through in my drag, if I have a drag personality. I'm very interested to meet my drag personality because I think she's going to be quite hilarious.
She's going to be fierce. Yeah. I think the thing with drag is like you never actually know how you're going to be or act when you're in drag, because a lot of the times you may have like inhibitions or you might be fearful of certain things, but like once you have the confidence that comes with putting yourself out there and doing something kind of terrifying and going through this process of transformation, it is truly liberating. And that's the thing that I love so much about drag, is that it allows you to just fully express yourself. And it's like, you know, you really have to look at yourself. You have to look at your face. You have to say, I want to be the image of my own imagination. I want to like curate myself, and this is my like heightened version of what I'm trying to say to the world. And when you do that, people really respond to it. So it's like you are more funny and you're more confident and you're more witty and you walk into a room with more presence and people are attracted to you. So you never actually know, but once you've done it, it's kind of like a thrill that you get, and it's you can understand why people love it so much.
Look, I'm going to apologise up front because I'm sure that my drag persona is going to have much less of a filter than I have. And I have very little, not much of a filter anyway. So my drag personality is most likely going to say things that no one else is going to say, but that is what everyone is thinking.
Exactly.
So that's most likely where I'm going to go in that direction. Okay, I want to go into something a little bit more serious, and that is the entire theme behind my message is braveness, and how brave gay people are, trans, drag, whatever it is, to do what they do. It's an extremely nerve-wracking thing in my mind to get into full drag or to get into your personality, and to, in many countries, we are lucky in South Africa that we generally drive ourselves places, but you have to then walk onto the street, maybe take a bus, maybe get into a cab, and I just want to talk about experiences you might have had when you're in character, that are negative, and how do you respond to that, if anything?
I mean, for me, I have had very few negative experiences, and I think it's mostly because when I'm in drag, my drag character Suffocate, I feel invincible. So even if someone did try and come for me, you'd be able to shut them down just with a look.
Yes.
You know, but in terms of like being harassed on the street, it happens. You know, if you're walking down Long Street in drag, you are going to attract attention to yourself, and it's not necessarily going to be the attention that you're looking for.
Yeah.
So it is something that is still, you know, it's terrifying. It is terrifying.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, that's just one experience. You know, there's so many queer people, trans people, non-binary people who have that experience every single day. So it kind of gives you this new perspective on the struggles that people face, and it just makes you have more empathy and more understanding for different people.
Okay, so let's imagine a young guy or girl sitting at home watching this, knowing that they want to express themselves in a way that they've just been too scared to do. What do you think you would say to that? If it was a young Gavin, before you had the social circle to support you and whatever, what would you say to yourself?
I think like just do the things that make you happy. Like if you're too scared to go out in public and drag, just do it at home. Like enjoy the process of figuring out who you are and what you want to show people, and you know, maybe photograph yourself and see, like gain a little confidence doing that, and then, you know, go online. There's just so many resources, there's so many people. Just start chatting to people. They don't even need to be people in your own city or your own country. Like just chat and, you know, you can see how many people are interested in the same things as you, and it will just allow you to grow and gain more confidence, and then eventually you just won't actually care what people think.
Yeah. So time to plug a few of your social media platforms. So tell me your Instagram, so people can go and follow Gav.
You can. So you can follow me. My personal Instagram is Gavin Mikey Collins. You can follow Discoteca.
Just spell Discoteca.
So it's spelled Diskotekah.
Yes.
It's like Discoteca. And that's kind of like an explanation of what the music is like. It's a little bit of disco, a little bit of techno. And if you want to follow me, my drag character, Suffocate, it's SUFFERK and then the number 8, which is a little bit confusing, but deal with it.
Okay, so we're going to have to come up with a drag name for me, but I think I need to be in drag first.
Definitely.
So when that happens, I'm probably going to call on you to help me on that anyway.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing to do. Actually.
Yeah, to create a character. So look, I think that I'm going to put up photos of Gab. He's going to supply me photos. You're going to go follow his social media platforms. You'll be able to see who we're talking to. You're going to be able to see his incredible transformations. Just super excited for you guys to explore this with me. And if anybody's more interested in this than as I am, then get in touch via my social media. So at the Minimalist Chris. So this is an interesting thing. I am a minimalist, which means I don't own any fashion. I have slip-flops and a few pairs of shorts and some workout clothing. So this experience for me is going to be quite exciting, just for the fact that I'm going to probably wear something that really fancy for the first time in a while.
Or just make, like, what I love about drag culture is that it's about creating things out of nothing. So it's really about looking at what you've got and trying to create something special out of it. So you can dress yourself in black bags and still look and feel amazing. Okay, so
favorite, what are you looking forward to most next socially? On the social scene, what's the next thing coming?
Well, in terms of Discoteca, we're going to be celebrating our 5th birthday this year, and so we've started doing like an annual birthday celebration, which is a talent show. So we call on people who've been to our parties, people who supported us, our Discoteca queens, and we put together like an hour-long talent show. We have musicians and drag performances. We have like all sorts of crazy stuff. Yeah. So that's happening. We have our annual Halloween Discoteca, which is our Halloween party. Mm-hmm. It's kind of the best Halloween party in Cape Town, if I can be so bold. Yeah. So yeah, that's that. We've got we want to start a podcast as well. We're working on that. So we want to also just chat a little bit.
Well, then you're going to have to interview me.
I think so. Yeah, we just want to like open up the dialogue, and you know, I'm not like a scholar in gender studies, but my knowledge is based on experience in this kind of alternative nightlife industry and in the fashion industry, and it's about talking to people and you know, getting different perspectives, and there is no right answer. It's really not about right or wrong. You know, some people feel a certain way, some other people feel a different way. For me, it's more just about gaining understanding and empathy for people and allowing people to express themselves in ways that maybe you don't understand and you won't ever understand, and that's cool too.
Look, like you say, you're not a scholar, you're not somebody who has studied this, but you know, I believe that this world is at such a changing point with regard to gender and a representation of gender that there isn't much that you can study. You can only really live it at this stage.
Yeah.
So I think people might look back at this generation of people that are being extremely fluid with their gender, and that's what we're going to write about. So I think that at this stage, rather just keep living, because maybe that's going to be what creates the theory behind it. But very excited for this chat. I hope everyone's enjoyed themselves. We will definitely follow up. Please follow up with Gav. Follow his stuff. And yeah, Discoteca. Hopefully see you at Discoteca. Are straight people going to feel comfortable at Discoteca?
Well. Like for me, I kind of love it because when we have straight men who come to Discoteca, they're normally like very sheepish and they walk in and they feel very insecure. But by the end of the night, they're the ones dancing shirtless at the front of the dance floor.
Yes.
And for me, that says so much because, you know, in society now, straight men have so few places to really express themselves and to feel uninhibited and secure. So for me, it's not about being gay or straight, it's about the idea of being queer.
Yes.
So we're kind of expanding this definition of queer, and for us, queer means different, it means unusual, it means special. So it's about being like-minded and those like-minded people coming together and just allowing each other to express themselves.
Okay, well, we've had a fantastic backtrack of a very desperate dog who wants to come back and play with Gav. So we'll close off there. If you've made it to the end of the video, fantastic. And we'll see you in the next one. Gav, thank you.
Thank
That
you.
was really awesome.
Yeah, next
Great, give me a hug.
Yeah.
Good stuff.